Okay, so the local church is the Chapel of St. Bridget. It is an old chapel, maybe sometime in the early Victorian or pre that point in time. It's not in great condition. It's obviously seen better days. It's a bit rotten down on the outside, dilapidated. There's a small.
Aren't you just describing Ross Common in general again?
In general,
I was going to say pretty much everything you described.
Sorry to say. Yeah, everything's a little run down and hasn't been updated in a while. The churchyard is filled with older stones, headstones, and stuff like that. It's not got a big because it's a Catholic church. It doesn't really it has a cemetery around it, but it's a small one. It's for the priests usually, right. Or the fellow who donated to the church and had it made, that kind of stuff. The actual cemetery is like probably half a mile down the road, because you would have had to walk your people to the cemetery. So it'd be a bit of a thing. There's a very large car park. It's gravel, but it's quite large and quite spacious. Clearly, someone had a lot of money and kind of put this big thing in. Given the church numbers in Ireland, it's probably totally empty half the time. And you can see like there's an old line of trees all the way around the outside of the chapel. As you walk up to it, give me a very quick, once again, probably investigation plus perception check. I'm assuming that you guys are kind of aware, kind of keeping an eye on things, looking around.
All of us are making the roll?
All of you are making the roll.
Right.
Plus 11.
Difficulty on this one is it's not a huge thing, so it's not very obviously about average difficulty about a -5.
My total is 16.
Yeah, I got a 13.
16, 13.
13.
Hold on.
I thought you said 30.
Oh, no, I rolled double ones. A trip on my shoelaces.
Ones. You're like, ooh, look, a tree.
You get a text. I think you got a text. Yeah. Ooh.
So yeah, you're a little bit distracted. You begin to see there's a weird thing about the dates on these tombstones. Everyone seems to have died on the same date. Oh no, those are different dates. You're trying to make up things about the tombstones. You're really paying attention to them. You're like, oh, maybe if this guy was here. Hang on a second. Everyone in this churchyard, these 4 graves are all Murphy.
Yeah,
now,
like,
that's
Polly, quit playing with the dead people. Hurry up. Right.
Gosh, this person was 36 when they died. I'm sure that means something. What could it mean? Nothing.
You two, yeah. Ron and so Darcy and Caliban, you're more aware of your situation currently right now. You see that the tops of 2 of the trees are quite badly burnt and scorched. Like they were hit by lightning or something like that, or they were
a person on fire with wings or some such shit. Yes,
there's damage to the trees,
right.
Whatever that is. And you also notice the nearby the power cables to the church look like they've been shorted. The main kind of power, what's it called, transformer has been blown. You can see it's blackened and scorched.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think exchanging looks with Caliban, we don't even have to process this, right? I mean, this is just a given. So I am going to say, I'm really getting tired of like following up on the aftershocks of all this stuff. Well, we have got to get a jump ahead of the game.
Okay, I agree. Well, the old lady, does she work here? And also, as we travel through this place, do we see, there's birds everywhere, I'm assuming, but do we see an odd amount, are we being followed by crows or ravens or anything weird? Are we, you know what I mean? So
give me a perception plus investigation roll, specifically you, for that question.
what is that? A 16 plus.
Good roll.
What is my investigation? So that's a total of a 19 I rolled.
Okay. Your difficulty was about a -8, which means you still managed to scrape by on a success. You do spot 2 or 3 dead crows hidden in the long grass in the graveyard.
Okay. And how did they
here and there?
Oh, like
go up and you examine one.
Yeah.
You kind of, it looks like impact to you, like it flew into something or
punched. Someone's punching birds around here.
Those were probably people.
Puncher.
Caliban, those may have been people.
Well, unfortunately, someone's been punching, I guess, bird people around here. And
they're not burnt?
They don't look burnt.
Okay.
I'll toss it to you.
That's
throws you a dead bird. He
actually,
flips you the bird.
I'm going to being all reactive. I'll just step neatly aside and let the bird land where it's going to land. I'm not interested in that. So
danger sense.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like I don't even like. It's kind of like I was already turning somewhere and it just goes over there.
Right.
Like you're two-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The bird lands beside you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can see that it's been. It looks like its neck is broken.
Okay. All right. Well, we can. You see, that's the trouble. We can just keep scratching around the edges of things and looking at the leftovers of the situation, and we'll just keep finding them. Right now, it seems to me as though we need to talk to an angel
or be touched by one.
Yeah. So I think that now you two heathens stay out of here. I'm going to go over to the church.
Okay.
I'm tired of irritating. I got to tell people like where not to walk and stuff. Just better if they stay out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Annoying. They don't know what to do. So I'll go in there and actually I'll stop dead in the doorway.
Right.
And
you walk up and you see this. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Well, I'm definitely I'm actually check my gun. No bullets. It's totally, I unload it. I don't even I unload the gun and then I'll put it away. Right. And then, and then I'll just don't even notice that I crossed myself. Just don't even notice and head on in the proper way, Is the nice lady who is clearly of sound mind and body and memory, about? Because I don't trust McGillicuddy at all. That bastard's prejudiced.
Yeah, there's a strong smell of incense. I never said incest. There's a strong smell of incense and flowers, particularly lilies. Throughout the church. It's stuck in my head now, but you won't use that word for the rest of the session just in case. This kind of deep smell of flowers kind of like permeate the whole building. And you can see that there's like wildflowers, big kind of heavy duty ones, kind of put in massive big containers, right, left, and center throughout the church.
Really?
So you're really glad you don't have allergies or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking around and going, that's a little weird, actually. Go on.
Yeah. There's not tons, but there's quite a lot. The place looks quite bare normally, so this is probably an effort to spruce it up, as it were. But yeah, you go in
away or something.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Yeah. It's all garlic, actually. You spotted. No. So there's a couple of sprigs of wild garlic in there, I'm sure. You can see an older woman, with who you presume is probably the woman McGillicuddy was talking to. She's probably in her late 60s, early 70s. She's slightly hunched over, bent over, gray hair. With kind of short-ish, shoulder length at most. She's dressed in kind of like a floral kind of long dress that goes almost down to her ankles. She's got a big sheaf of rotting flowers, and she's kind of putting them into a kind of a big basket. Mm-hmm. And she looks like she's trying to, basically refreshing the flowers, as it were. and what's it called? Yeah, she's working away on them. She doesn't really pay attention as you come in. She doesn't. You walk up the aisle.
Sure, and let me give you a hand with that.
She looks up at you when you approach. She goes, "Oh, aren't you lovely?"
So I'll help her with the flowers for a bit.
Well, thanks very
I'm
much.
remarkably
Not enough
efficient
young
at
people
it.
these days. You're like knife. There we go.
Yeah.
She's like, not enough young people these days do any helping like that at all. Are you new to the parish? I don't recognize your voice.
No, I'm
or your face, for that matter.
No, I've been many places, but this is my first time in Roscommon.
Oh.
The church I'm looking around and saying, this is the nicest thing I've seen since I've been here.
Well, thanks very much. Yeah, this is all my own work now, would you believe? He said, I get in here every day now. This is for a funeral later now. Maisie Welsh, her name was.
The flowers,
beautiful woman, lovely woman. 12 kids. Can you imagine 12 kids?
Darcy shudders.
Yeah. And they're all still living and well. They're in hale and hearty form. She must have 50 grandchildren. Can you believe it? Yeah. And she was great. She was in fantastic form. She really was. The second stroke kind of slowed her down a bit, and the heart attack but then she was great, and then of course she broke her hip last year. Now that really slowed her down for a little bit. You know how they break in the hip when you don't know, lovely. It's all ahead of you. Don't worry. Lost osteoporosis and stuff like that.
I'm kind of the first time. I don't think so. Darcy has really smiled this whole trip or anything. Not really. She has this kind of little cold weather, existential horror smile that she does sometimes. But now she's actually kind of smiling and going and sort of enjoying the conversation. I'm going to cut to the chase, Karen. I'm going to be nice as pie to this lady. And I want my epiphany. Where's the fucking angel?
Where's the angel? That's an interesting one. Okay. Well, when you bring it up, she is a little bit cagey at the start. You were trying to charm her and kind of bring her around. She's a little bit, she's told the story and people have kind of been, raising their eyebrows and, making noises behind her back. And she's like, people think I'm mad. They think I'm having some kind of stroke or I was having some kind of tablets that I wasn't doing anything like that. Sure, I don't take a tablet hardly at all. Like, well, 4 in the morning and 3 in the evening, but that's hardly anything at all. And I only ever have a glass of whiskey for my health. And that's it, that's everything that I ever did. And there's none of those people, they'd often be saying to you, they say to you, Geraldine, you're off your rocker. Can you believe that? This man said to me, I was off my rocker. I went to the doctor the other day. He told me I was as sane as he was. It was something else. But yeah, so this is what happened. God's honest truth. That maybe it was a dream. I'm beginning to think it was a dream. Maybe it was a dream. He said, I was just doing a little bit of late night cleaning, I can't help it. She said, I have a little bit of a bladder problem. She says enough to hear everyone in the church to hear. He said, it keeps me up at night, something fierce. So I like to stay, to work late and keep the place looking nice. Father O'Reilly loves it when the place looks nice. He tells me that all the time. He's such a nice man. Anyway, so yeah, there I was working away on the thing, and there was all this big hullabaloo outside, and I thought to myself immediately, it's the teenagers out drinking late at night. But then they were there. Said Archangel Michael himself. Well, that's a bit of strange things, but I swear there were women. But anyway, I didn't think there were any angels that are women. Are there angels that are women? I don't know. They are.
How many?
I mean,
men and women or whatever's.
Yeah, there were a bunch of them, maybe 7 or 8 of them. But they looked like they'd been hurt. And I said to myself, oh my gosh, I said, Geraldine, you're having madness. You're having some kind of stroke or something like that. That's the Lord's bringing you up to heaven, or maybe it's the end of times. But they were wearing their beautiful, beautiful silver robes. They were so pretty, I swear. Now, my eyes aren't what they once were, so you'll have to forgive me about that. But they were talking away to each other, and they were shouting and roaring, and I didn't really understand a lot of what they said. Now, I have to say it. It must have been the language of the angels, the language of the angels. But one of them kept shouting out, and the others, what do they call her? Raquel or something like that. Raquel? Is that an American name? I don't know. Raquel. It sounds like an American name.
It's kind of an angelic name, I think. I think you're right about this.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were talking with her, and they said something about things. But then, the weirdest fucking thing happened. She says they slammed the doors shut, and I hid behind the altar because, if you see an angel, you well, at my age, you start seeing angels, you begin to wonder, am I going to be going up visiting them soon? Oh, God, I hope not. Well, sometimes I hope I would. You know how it is. As you get a bit older now, my old man died now. There about 10 years ago. Sure, it was
I think
the
this
foot rot got
fine
him eventually.
church needs you
But,
just a little bit longer.
oh, you're so sweet, dear. You're so lovely. But anyway, the story wasn't. Do you know what? There was this banging and rattling, like the whole place was shaking. And I swear to God, I could hear a woman outside screaming something at her fierce. It was something else. I'd never seen anything like it before. And there was all these banging noises on all the windows and doors, and it was something else. And then there was this bright flash. Like the Lord himself illuminated it. I could see cobwebs I had never seen up on the roof, I tell you, with it. It was unreal. And then they were gone. And then the noise outside just kind of slowly went away.
Slowly.
And do you know what? Yeah, well, it took a while, a few minutes, I think. Do you know what? I got such a fright. It put the heart crossways in me. I swear to God, if it didn't do it, I don't know. Anyway, so I waited. Obviously, I was kind of a little bit shocked at what was going on, and I was afraid it was the devil himself outside. They always say the devil is a woman, and yeah.
Darcy
so I thought
looks
it was the devil
confused
himself
for a
outside.
second. Oh, okay.
I thought it was the devil himself outside. I really did. I thought it was, and I did want to go out. But do you know what? I was here for such a long time, and I was so tired. And I thought, oh, I'll have to go down. And I had to meet my friend later on before we went. I was supposed to, and sure, eventually I left anyway. And that was that. No more strangeness, no weirdness. But the weirdest thing the following morning, that he came in. There was dead crows everywhere, all the way around, like they've been smashing themselves to death all over the thing. It was like that movie. What's it called? The one about the Omen. It's I don't know what it's called. I can't remember, but it was like something out of that. And they were all dead everywhere. Oh, I was ages putting the poor crows to bed or to dead. They're putting them away. We dumped a whole pile of them in the bins. I'm sure the bin man is not going to be happy. I'm sure he's not. How would you like it if you got a bin of dead crows? You think we're playing some kind of horrible joke on him? What can I say? And sure, I mean, Father O'Reilly, God bless his heart.
So you heard a woman shouting to the angels?
Yes, a woman. It was a woman's voice. Definitely, I heard her.
You didn't look out and see her?
Oh, but the weird thing was, I swear to God, she was speaking Irish.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody around here speaks Irish. It's not like with the Gaeltachts or anything like that.
All right.
It was very odd entirely. So, anyway, that's my story. You can tell me I'm mad if you want to.
No, actually, you're the first sane person I think I've talked to here. So I just want to tell you, may the
you're so nice.
May the Lord keep you. Remain and please take care of this beautiful church.
I will. Thank you very much indeed. You are such a lovely young lady. Are you married?
Darcy says, what would I say? Some terrible thing. Probably something like, send me all the best ones you've got round here, and then we'll see.
My son Jack now, he's a lovely lad, and he's got a whole farm. His uncle gave him the farm now in his will. He hasn't got it yet, but he will do in about 2 or 3 years because there's not much left to that uncle now, I have to say. He's not much left to him at all. And the farm, you have the farm in the will. It's a lovely place. Do you have one of those, what do they call it? Your tubes? No, my face, no. Get them all mixed up. Chattery Snappy, that one, the Chattery Snappy things. Do you have one of those?
Mm-hmm.
If you could write it down for me, and here, and she hands you a pen and paper. What you call it?
Interesting.
You can have a chat with him and see. He'd love to meet a nice girl from the north. He wouldn't mind you're from the north. Don't worry about that. Very pretty,
She says, I'll write down something a couple of firewalls away from the actual me, and but sure, Jack can look me up, and there will be pictures there of someone.
Lovely.
So okay, good enough.
He loves looking at them pictures on the internet. He's always doing it. You meet some lovely ladies there.
So I will leave the church in a ritualistic, appropriate fashion, and I will
Walking out the door.
yeah, and I will go. Now here is the question. I gain one clue by using Epiphany,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to know my clue.
Okay. You want to know your clue. Well, most of that is a clue.
No.
I would say that
You were going to do that anyway.
you
I
have
want the clue you weren't going
heard.
to give me.
I would say you have heard the name Raquel before in user circles.
Excellent. Okay.
As a technical adjunct, as a technical advisor, sent by parties unknown to assist user in the use and how do we say their use of alien technology.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough. Yeah, we're their Vietnam, and they're CIA. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right, I'm going to head out, and I don't know what the two of you have got up to. In fact, I'm even thinking to myself, I wonder what these two Egypts have got up to by now. So
yeah.
Well, if you guys, what are you guys doing outside?
Leave those two around; they get bored. Things get weird. So
you do find.
Oh no, go on.
No, go on. Actually,
and I look around the place like I'm looking because I want to know what the significance is. That the Angelos, why the Angelos may have been here, like, why here? Why, why the cave? Why here? Why that farmhouse? Blah, blah, blah.
Give me a perception check.
Let's see. What is that? A 9? Do I add a skill to it?
Intuition.
Intuition. Let's see. Intuition. So I got an 11 total. Right? No, I got a 12 total.
12 total. Okay. There is a vague, and I mean vague, not at all like the Ka energy that was blazing out all over the place before, but there is like a vague feeling of from the walls of this building, and it seems to particularly focused inward towards the church itself.